Hey everybody, how you doing? Joe McCall here with Gavin, and I'm excited about this video. Gavin, are you?
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. It's one
All
of my
right.
faves.
One of my favorite things to do too, and it's all about making offers. Because this is the cool thing about making offers is it shouldn't take you longer than a few minutes. All right. And once you get the hang of this, you can have your VA actually making offers for you. So we're of the philosophy that you should be making an offer to every single lead that comes in. So we're going to be covering a lot of stuff today. The theme of these sessions are Wholesaling 101, how to wholesale your first deal as quickly and as easily as possible. To get this mind map, you need to text the word flip to 313131 or go to flipmindmap.com. And the cool thing that we have here on this mind map is we have the replays of all the other videos that we've done in the past, the videos that we're going to do in the future, and the transcripts even. I know a lot of you guys like to get transcripts and you just rather would read. So you get the videos and the transcripts here as well. The other cool thing that we're giving you in this mind map is our calculators, our scripts, our contracts, our postcards that we like to use, all that good stuff. You get it. And it's in the mind map. You've got to get the mind map. We're going to be giving you today some of our contracts and some of our calculators. Text the word flip to 313131 or go to flipmindmap.com and we will email you a link to the mind map. So make sure you give us a good email address. Now, last time we talked about talking to sellers, the right things to say, keeping it really simple. And today we're going to be talking about making offers. Making offers is really important, and we, again, operate under the philosophy that you should be making an offer on every property. Every seller you talk to, you should be sending them an offer. It could be verbally, it could be by email, it could be in the physical mail. We recommend all the above. So always be sending offers. You should be talking to at least 5 sellers a day, making at least 3 to 5 offers a day. I mean, just imagine if you're making 3 offers a day, just 3. How many is that in a month? 60, 70 offers in a month? Over 3 months, that's 180, 200 offers. Do you think you might maybe do a deal if if you make 200 offers? Okay? So this is so important. What were you going to say, Gavin?
No, I was going to say, I don't, everyone says it, but why do people not do it?
Yeah.
You know, it's simple, right? It's so simple, but people choose not to do it. And I did actually a live call yesterday where the guy was not motivated, but still agreed to an offer. Because I told him I'm going to send him one. Yeah. You know, and it's just simple. I'm going to make you an offer anyway. And he said, well, all right then.
You never know when a seller, sometimes they need time to cook. No means not now. Absolutely. They just may need some time to cook and think about it. Maybe they're not motivated yet, but you send them something in the mail. They hold on to that. A few months later down the road, they're like, you know what? I might be interested in selling now. Or something happens, life happens, a tenant gets obnoxious, their wife gets obnoxious, and they they quit their job and they have to move or whatever. I don't mean to say wives are obnoxious. They're not. But, something happens. They just want to get rid of it, right? They want to get rid of the house and they're done. And you know what? If you send them something in the mail, which we recommend that you do to everybody, they may keep on to that. They're going to lose your email. Right? They're going to not write down your name and number and think of calling you back 3 months later. But if you send them an offer, you will do more deals. All right. So one of the things that I want to just touch briefly on that we didn't really, I want to just clarify even more, learning how to quickly pre-screen sellers. So there's 3 main questions that we like to ask. All right. When we're talking to sellers, and maybe this should have gone in the section up above, but we're going to cover it real quick right now. Really simple, keeping these, when you're talking to sellers, trying to find out what their motivation is. You're looking for sellers that need to sell, not just want to sell. I'm more interested in the story than the house. Does that make sense? I'm more interested in why they want to sell, what's their situation, than I am in the details of the house. So these are 3 really simple questions that you should be asking sellers when you talk to them. Number 1, hey, thanks for calling. What's your situation? I'm not asking them about the house yet, but what's your situation? Why are you calling me? What would you like to see happen? These are open-ended questions. What would you like to see happen? And then if I can make that happen, how quickly would you like to sell? Real simple. Those 3 questions, just listen. Shut up and listen, all right? And the sellers will tell you. If you get things like, well, I just got your letter. I just wanted to see what you would offer. I'm not in a hurry to sell. I'm not going to give it away. That's common to get that. You should still send them an offer, try to ask them some questions, but that's not a very motivated seller. Motivated sellers will make you rich. Unmotivated sellers will make you grow old. So always be focusing on motivated sellers and asking them what their situation is. What's their story? What would they like to see happen? All right?
Yeah. And if you just on that, and if you are getting the negative that there's no motivation, then you need to be getting off the phone.
Yes.
As fast as possible, right? You don't need to stay on there for 30 minutes knowing you can do that. I say within 3 minutes, you should have a good idea if they're motivated or not. And then you need to just say, okay, I'm going to make you an offer, and then we'll get back on the phone, and then get off the phone, because you're done at that point. There's nowhere else you can go until you make the offer and then come back. Okay. Yep. So I just wanted to add that in.
Yeah, that's very good. You should know within the first 3 to 5 minutes if they're ready to do business today. Right? You're in business to make money today. And so you set the agenda up front, you ask them questions, and you'll just save yourself tons and tons of time. You still want to send them an offer, even if they're not motivated yet. And we're going to be talking about how to do that. Sometimes I like to ask, are you calling because you need to sell the house in the next 30 days, or are you just testing the waters to see what kind of offer you will get? While you're talking, you're not gathering information. While you're talking, you're not gathering information. Remember to listen. I think we wrote that wrong. While you're talking to the seller, you are gathering information.
Yeah.
You need to remember to listen. Okay? Now, how do you do comps? Super simple. Don't overcomplicate this. Keep it really, really simple. We'll show you an example deal here in just a minute. But you want to look at actives as well as solds. Don't ignore the active listings. Why? Because you want to know what your competition is. All right? If you get a house under contract for 40, you're trying to sell it for 50, or you're trying to sell that contract for $10,000, if there's similar homes that are listed for sale right now for $25,000, $30,000, why would that investor, rehab, or landlord want to pay $10,000 more for your property? All right, so even though they may have had it listed for 100, they agree to sell it to you for 50. That's a big discount, right? But there's similar homes that need less work for sale cheaper than what yours is. So always be looking at actives, because you want to know what your competition is. And this relates later on about thinking about how you can make this property marketable to your investors. What's going to when you're thinking about making an offer or looking at comps and stuff, what's going to make this deal attractive to the investor that you're wholesaling it to? There's some really simple sites that you should look at when trying to come up with comps or the ARV, after repair value. Zillow, Redfin, the MLS, RealQuest Express, iComps, and there's a bunch of others. And I'll show you in one of these example deals what we look at. So I like to just take the average of the 3 or 4. Take the lowest maybe. Don't overthink this, okay? Especially when you're making your initial offer, which is going to be most of the offers that you're making. Don't overthink this. It's okay if you get it wrong. Let me give you permission to make a mistake. It's okay if you get it wrong. Here's the cool thing. If you're wrong, you have an inspection contingency in your contract. And there's 3 R's that I like to blame if I need to go back to renegotiate the deal. I blame it on the 3 R's: repairs, rents, or resale value. Right? So if my offer is way off, I can come back to the seller and say, well, it needs more repairs than I thought it needed. The rent doesn't rent as high as I thought it would. And the retail value is not as high as I thought it was. So blame it on the numbers. So just make the offer. Don't spend too much time on the ARV. I know Zillow is not accurate. Everybody knows that. But it's a good starting point. It's a good place to start from to get your foot in the door. All right? And think about how you can make this property attractive and marketable to other investors. Why would they want to buy your contract, right? What about your deal would make it attractive to another investor? So it's important to know what your investors want. When you're making offers to sellers, it's important to think about, what do these investors want that are buying properties in here? And all of that stuff is very simple and easy to get. All right, so how do you make estimates on repairs? I got to spell repairs right. How do you quickly make estimates for repairs? Really simple. I like to use general rules of thumb when it comes to repairs. $5 a square foot, $10, $15 a square foot, maybe 20. So, if I'm talking to the seller on the phone and they say it doesn't need any work, I'm going to use $5 a square foot. Okay, that would be paint, maybe a little bit cleaning up and stuff like that. If the seller says on the phone it needs some work, maybe cosmetics, paint, carpet, I might use $10 a square foot. $15 to $20 a square foot if it needs a lot of work. Again, this all depends on where you are, right? You may be in a market that is real expensive, So $20 may be low, $25 for a full gut rehab. Remember to keep it simple, okay? You just want to get in the ballpark. You can adjust your offer later during the inspection period if you need to. Now, we're also going to give you, this is really cool, we're going to give you a single repair sheet, a real simple repair sheet. If you click on this link in the mind map, it's going to take you to this Word document that is amazing. And this is a really good document to have with you when you're looking at a house. This will get you within 5 to 10% of the repair estimates. Now, again, you can modify and adjust this. I would suggest if you've got a good relationship with a contractor in your market, review this sheet with them. But the cool thing about this is you just put down, I don't remember where I got this, but you could say, does it need a new roof? Yes or no. And then there's estimates in here on what a roof would cost if you needed to just put new shingles on or replace all the shingles. Does it need paint? All of these things, they give you estimates. And this is really cool. Anybody can do this. You write down the repair estimates, you add a little contingency at the end, 5% maybe, and this will get you really close, within 5 to 10% of the estimated repairs. And if it doesn't, then just change your numbers, but this is a really powerful sheet. I like using that a lot. All right. Now, making the cash offer. I'm going to give you here, first of all, let me move this down here. I like to, there's two different ways I make offers, and I'm going to give you a calculator here in just a minute that makes this all super easy and simple for you. But, you know, if it's a nicer house that a rehabber would want to buy, my offer is going to be a little different. Okay, I'm going to do 70%, maybe 75, 80%, depending on where you are, of ARV. That's the after repair value, minus repairs, minus your wholesaling fee. Okay, and you get your ARV from Zillow, ePraisal, RealQuest, etc. And for repairs, you use that. And so we'll show you an example here in a minute. Now, if it's a rental property and you want to sell this to a landlord, you can't use the ARV formula because, there is no, and a lot of times in these rental neighborhoods, there is no ARV. There is no after repair value because these things don't sell to retail buyers. Typically, landlords buy those things. So you typically, and I'll show you this in the calculator in a minute, you want to calculate the gross income. You want to subtract expenses, and I usually figure about 40% for vacancies, maintenance, management, repairs, insurance, taxes, etc., to get your net income. And if you know your investors want 12% cash on their money, you take the net income divided by 12%, and that's the investor all-in price. And then you're going to subtract the investor all-in price. You're going to subtract repairs. You're going to subtract your wholesale fee, and that is your offer price to the seller. Now, I have a calculator here that explains all of that. I'm going to move this contract here. We have some contracts we're going to give you. Let's look at this calculator here. And this is a spreadsheet that we just created that's super simple that you can start using today. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to just walk through the spreadsheet here real quick. And then I'm going to show you an example of a deal that we just pulled up on Zillow. So this is for a cash offer to rental properties, and you'll see why this is important to do it this way. Again, these are properties that are going to be maybe 75 grand and lower that only a landlord would buy, and a landlord's going to buy these properties based on the ROI that it's going to give them. So let's say the list price or the asking price is 70 grand. That almost doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Let's say the square footage is 1,000. The seller says, you know what, it doesn't need much in repairs. I'm going to put $5 a square foot. So that gives me 5 grand in estimate for repairs. The gross monthly rents on this home is $850. I'm going to figure in 40% for expenses. And again, that's vacancies management, property management, vacancies, repairs, maintenance, taxes, and insurance, etc. You can break this up into more detail if you want, but we're just giving you the simple. Let's say your investors that you have that you know are buying rentals there are looking for a 13% ROI or cash on their money. So this formula just takes the gross rents times 12 times minus 40% to give you the net annual cash flow. Right? And you know you want to make $7,500 wholesale fee, and you're figuring approximately $500 in closing costs. So the way, this gets a little weird here, but the offer price, what it does is it takes the net cash flow divided by the ROI, minus the estimate for repairs, minus your wholesale fee, minus closing costs. So if this property that rents for $850, again, I don't care about what the ARV of this house is. All I care about is the rent and how much repairs it needs. So if it rents for $850 and it needs about 5 grand in repairs, if I offer the seller $34,000, and if I sell it then to my investor for $41,500. After repairs, after closing costs, after all of their management and expenses and fees, they're going to make 13% on their money. So this is important when you're making offers. Always under-promise and over-deliver. Okay? So if the rents are, let's say, between $850 and $950 a month, then you want to figure on $850 a month. If you think the repairs are going to be 10 to 15 grand, then use 15 grand for repairs. So, an investor wants 10 to 13% ROI on their money. Well, then set your offers at 10% or 13% ROI. Always go on the higher or lower end depending on what you're looking at. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this house, let's just say, and now look at the difference between these two prices. So if the rents are $850, I can offer $34,000. But what if the rents drop down to $800? That drops my offer price down to $31,000. Does that make sense? So it's really important to get good estimates for rents, and you can get that pretty much from Zillow really easily. Okay, anything you want to add on that, Gavin?
No, yeah, but the only thing is you got to make sure that you keep this simple, because people get overwhelmed and spend way too much time in this area of making offers, especially when the calculator comes out and you start playing with numbers. It's kind of, we're just trying to get the offer to have the conversation. I say it all the time that this isn't going to be perfect. Just get rough numbers, stick them in, put them in the offer, and send it. Yep. And I think this is probably one of the hardest things in the business that people waste time on. All the comps and all of it. Just get the calculator, put the numbers in from Zillow, and that's it. That's your offer. So send it out.
Yeah. So in this spreadsheet, you only need to worry about the yellow numbers in here.
Yeah.
Okay. Just worry about the yellow numbers, the highlighted cells, and that calculates the offers for you. So it's important to understand this, though. So when you get this spreadsheet and you go to the link, you only have view permissions only. You only have viewing permissions. So when you get this contract, this calculator, go to File and go to Make a Copy or Download As, and download it into your own Google Docs account or to your Excel spreadsheet. All right, I'm going to walk through one more offer, and then we're going to break this video and then come back again to give you an example deal on part 2. So let's say this is a nicer property, and you want to flip this thing to a rehabber. If you sell it to a landlord, it's too expensive. The rents aren't as high enough. They're not going to get 13% ROI on their money. They might be getting, 6% if they're going to rent it. But on a nicer home, you get the ARVs. Okay, you get the square footage, estimate repairs just like we did. Okay, and it's really simple. Your discounted ARV, it takes let me go show you here on the mind map. Again, remember, 70% of ARV minus repairs minus your wholesaling fee. Really simple, right? So you put the ARV, you figure in the repairs, you subtract your wholesale fee, and then your cash offer will be $137,500. You're going to sell it to your investor, the B2C, for $142,500. Make sense? The other thing we included in this calculator here is a little thing that can help you come up with comps real quick. If you put in the Zillow ePraisal iComps, it gives you the average, the median, and the lowest. So we'll look at that in an example deal in a minute. I think this would be a good time to break here. So on the next video, we'll actually walk through an example deal that we found on Zillow as a rental, and we'll walk through another example deal that's a nicer home that we want to sell to a rehabber. Does that make sense?
Awesome.
Anything else, Gavin, you want to finish?
No. I think, like I said, you've just got to keep it simple. And these, how long, Joe, would you say to make an offer?
It shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I think that's key. So you need to time yourself, guys, because you need to get it to 5 minutes. Because I know some of our students, when they first join us, we have scary times, like an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, is the deal about to happen? Oh, no, I'm just trying to make an offer. And that's kind of what we're trying to do, okay? Find motivation, and then the follow-up, which is coming later on in these videos, is when then you're going to follow up on these offers to see if motivation's changed.
Yep. And that's why I like working with Gavin so much and why I asked him to help me coach, because he's always reminding us to keep it simple. I like to complicate things and get these fancy spreadsheets, but just keep it simple, guys, because if you're going to make 3 to 5 offers a day, you can't spend all your time talking to unmotivated sellers and figuring out all these comps and estimates for repairs and stuff like that. Keep it simple, and eventually, if the seller's not motivated, if they're a suspect, you can have your VA just make the offers for you. All right, so we're going to get back to this in a minute. Remember, get the mind map. go to flipmindmap.com, flipmindmap.com, or text the word flip to 313131, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.
Thanks, guys.